Kingdom Radio special edition with the Rock and Roll Rebel Show. We are coming to you live. What's up? Got Thunder Dan from the Rock and Roll Rebel Show, and we had a hell of a weekend announcing that the Rock and Roll Rebel Show will now be rebroadcasted, and in this situation, broadcasted on not just the Rock and Roll Rebel YouTube and X and the platforms from Rock and Roll Rebel Show, but also on Kingdom Radio Facebook page and platforms, a rebroadcast and a repost. So that was interesting news on Saturday, and once again, we have Thunder Dan from the Rock and Roll Rebel Show. What's up, Dow?
What's up? What's up? Make sure you protect yourselves at all times and stay safe out there. You got to get out and vote. That's the name of the game. Destroy America.
Hell yeah, dude. This weekend was so interesting because we had a show on Saturday, and then I'm surfing through Twitter and then brought up some breaking news. And this breaking news, for someone who doesn't really have a lot of people who, have YouTube and but TikTok. I don't have a lot of people on TikTok. I post like once every couple months. Here lately, I've been posting a lot, but 25,000 views on TikTok was crazy. And it was this video right here. So if you've seen it and you're like, hey, man, I had so many people, they were giving positive message about Gavin Newsom, about what a piece of crap he is, and they're agreeing with me. But then other people are like, what the hell? What source did that come from? Where the hell did you get that story from? As soon as I said Babylon B, they're like, it'd be more credible if you said you got it from a bathroom wall or something, dude. I mean, what the hell? And then I had so many people that were saying like things to me that were disparaging, that TikTok sent me a message about anti-bullying and some kind of AI that they said, we've seen that you've been, negative comments and people have been bullying you, and you can filter out and remove some of the bullies from your comments. And I was like, dang, you're definitely doing something when you get the anti-bullying message from TikTok. But that was interesting. Here's a little clip of that breaking news that went viral on TikTok. Check it out. I got some breaking news for you.
Oh, give me some.
Kingdom Radio breaking news. Gavin Newsom, this piece of shit fucking governor of the Sunshine State, is the first state in the United States to ban heterosexual marriage.
What?
Fucking serious, dude. Yeah, dog. California becomes the first state to ban heterosexual marriage. I mean, can you believe it? Sacramento, California, with the landmark piece of litigation, the state of California became the first state in the nation to ban heterosexual marriage. The historic law, which effectively makes it illegal for a man and a woman to be joined in holy matrimony, now defines marriage as a union between anyone other than male and female. I mean, the whole thing was like beyond ridiculous. I couldn't even believe I was reading it, but people took that story so seriously. And they were like, he's married. What is it? Get rid of it. His wife. And, this, all the comments, and like this Chinese guy was like, hey, no, I looked it up and the story's real. I can't believe this. This is crazy. And then other people like, I live in California and this isn't true. Believe me, I can tell you, but he is a piece of shit. I will tell you that. You are right about that. I mean, it was just like 1,000 comments, and they were all saying, anything in between those lines. But, what do you think of it now, looking back at that little clip?
I thought it was awesome. At the time, I didn't know it was Babylon B. I had no clue it was Babylon B at the time. I thought it was real news. And then I watched it later. I was like, oh, that was the Babylon B. No wonder everybody's all upset. I just thought it was something I missed. I was like, that's satire. But the Babylon B is funny about the Babylon B because what is fake today becomes true tomorrow. So.
I know, that's true. Speaking of what's fake today becomes true tomorrow, is why... After being made fun of once again last night, I was halfway on, one of the two screens I had. I was watching the Grammys. And, you always get, the third degree when someone finds out you were watching the Grammys. But I was watching the Grammys, and Killer Mike, some of his songs, he's kind of like, I used to be rough and tough, but now I'm kind of preaching about Jesus and stuff like that.
Good man.
Yeah, he's doing good. I mean, Run was the song, like his number one song, and he must not have ran fast enough. He did win 3 Grammys.
He swept,
but he was taken into custody after the Grammys, which was breaking news last night, and it was one of those Will Smith, Chris Rock, kind of news, not as big, but something about someone who should be taken for doing something, some kind of battery. When you say battery, that's what draws your mind to that same situation. But for battery, I mean, what was the details that you heard about that?
First it was all a lot of shadiness, but I guess allegedly he pushed somebody somewhere else, not in the arena, and I guess that person filed some charges. So I mean, it's the same thing like with Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. That was live on TV, but they're like, well, they didn't arrest Will because Chris Rock didn't want to press charges. I mean, what would happen if you shot somebody dead? They still press charges, right? Just because they didn't want
the
to press
person
charges?
dead might not, but his family, yeah, sure.
Exactly. So I don't understand. I guess it was because Killer Mike 2 was on Bill Maher talking about he wasn't going to endorse Biden because of
See, that's what I was gonna say. Lanu had no idea about the whole. He didn't want to. He said, "I don't support like a person. I support their policies."
Exactly.
And if Joe Biden wants to give me an answer about how he's going to take care of this situation and that situation and address these issues, then I can stand behind him and support him. But until then, I need to hear the policies. I don't just support a person. And it was good, but him bucking and refusing to endorse Joe Biden, they were saying that they were connecting the dots, saying that's why he was arrested. The deep state was just showing him, you're going to do what I say. But I don't know if that's true, but it was definitely a good story.
Well, yeah, it was a good story too. And Lisa Ann, she was at a Matt Rife show and she got arrested that night too. So,
oh yeah, the comedy club, right?
Yeah, and she's I believe she's a Trump supporter too. They're just arresting Trump supporters now out there. So they're coming for all of us. Be careful out there. Be careful.
Yeah.
They want us bad. They want to replace us with the illegal immigrants crossing the border, baby. You see that bill they try to put across that it might pass. I don't know. It might pass.
No, the only thing I think the real thing that you should do is don't package the border deal with something else of supporting Ukraine and supporting this, because this is just the crooked ass politicians, Joe Biden, and these crooked ass politicians that have their hands of getting 10% of the $5 billion that's going here, the $10 billion is going there. They're getting a kickback off of that. So they're trying to get their little retirement plan before he's evicted from the White House. America first, bro. Let's talk about what we're going to do at the American border, because if you're shooting missiles off at another country, let's protect the border. It's wartime, like we were talking on Saturday. It's wartime. It's time to protect the border. So that's where we are on that one. But I think what they should do is unpackage it and just put a border deal together that's just the border deal only. But they already had one approved, that the federal government had already approved to build the wall. So what the hell other bill do you need?
Well, I mean, President Biden has the authority to shut down the border right away, but he doesn't want to do it. This is all planned. They want this all to come across. And then they had like the hit piece out on 60 Minutes, had a piece on Sunday where they had like all the Chinese migrants are coming over here, 18 to 25-year-olds. So I don't know what's going on. It's getting dangerous out there. I mean, it's probably scary times. It's probably the best time to prepare was probably yesterday. I mean, it's just everybody's coming over here. You never see no females. Occasionally you see like a female and a child, but it's all males. It's all males. These countries are just probably just opening up their jails. They pay the cartels to drop them off. How many sleeper cells do you think are in the United States right now that are organizing? That's what I like to know.
Well, when you see the males, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're only sending soldiers and criminals over. I mean, when you see the males coming over, connecting the dots like that, I think is not really that genuine, because usually from what I've seen in my experiences, the man will go to America and they'll work and they'll send all their money back to their family to support their family. They come over by themselves because it's so dangerous to bring your family with you. So you'll see a lot of males coming across, and then they work and then they send their money back home because they can't figure out how to support their family where they come from. I think that's a lot of it, but that there's also a lot of other issues that you're seeing right there. But let me play this little thing from Killer Mike from last night.
God ain't good. You can't tell me. You cannot tell
Big Mike got double cuffed. Big boy.
Oh yeah, you're not getting those two hands to touch each other, but you see the guy giving his little fist bump.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Speaking of bullshit, I got a couple good ones here loaded up for you. We've already went through the Gavin or Newsom, but speaking of police, taking people into custody, after the Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs game, you've seen Patrick Mahomes Sr. on the field, and you've seen this clip, and then he's over here in Texas, in Tyler, Texas, and he gets pulled over with an open container in Texas, an open container. They step him out the car. They do the flashlight in his eyes, and he fails that one. Stand on one foot for a second. He fails that one, and then you go into jail like a Bernie Mac. But here's a clip of Patrick Mahomes Sr.
Y'all don't want me to do all that again.
No. But how excited are you?
I got a special blend. I'm very excited, man. I mean, going back to another Super Bowl, it's more than anybody could even imagine. So I'm just happy.
He was happy, and he went on to say further on in that interview, he's talking about, getting a third one. I don't know if he's talking, I think he was talking about his, his DUIs, but maybe he was talking about Super Bowls for his son. Let me see.
I'm always proud of him. I was proud of him before he started playing football. I mean, he makes me even more proud that he's doing the things that he's doing.
Hey, he's going for 3, man. That 3 is synonymous with some of the greats of all time in sports.
Well, we're going for 3, and then we're going to go for 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 9. We're going to keep on playing the game, and that's what we do.
I mean, he went for 3. He got his third one. He got his third one. His son will get his third one. He got his third one. DUI we're talking about in Tyler, Texas. So that one on your third one actually carries, I think the news was saying 2 to 10.
Nah, they ain't gonna do nothing. Patrick Mahomes, daddy, bro. That man.
I know, that's what I was thinking. Nah, you gotta be able to buy.
Police, baby. Fuck the police.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, if you're Patrick Mahomes, I mean, it's almost like Joe Biden, whereas Hunter Biden has a handler, he stays with you, or if you need to ride somewhere, they give you a ride. I mean, you can't get car service or someone to drive you around. I mean, how much does it cost? At this point, he's going to lose his license. You're going to have to do that anyway. If dad's going to go anywhere, it's going to have, someone to give him a ride or transportation. I see, Patrick Mahomes maybe putting something like that in his contract that, he has someone, like personal car service, take him wherever his dad, stay out of trouble. It's like, if you're going to get pulled over for drinking, dad, I mean, seriously, dad, you're going to get pulled over for drinking. Do it in fucking week 2 or something, where it's not that big of a deal. Do it in the off season. Don't do it like a couple days before the fucking Super Bowl.
Well, his brother was the one that got in more trouble. His brother was sexually assaulting ladies.
But that was in the off season, right? In the restaurant.
Then,
hey, you know what? I'll do whatever the hell I want because I'm Patrick Mahomes' brother. It's like, bro. But that was off season. That's the time you want to have a distraction. Not a week, not a couple days for the Super Bowl. Week for the Super Bowl. Come on, dad.
Yeah, and his brother also danced on Sean Taylor. I think it was Sean Taylor's memorial. He danced on the star that was on the sideline for Sean Taylor. So Patrick Mahomes' brother's a joke. His dad was just celebrating, but you shouldn't drink and drive. Drinking and driving is dangerous. I know everybody's done it. It was fun as a youth. You know what I'm saying? Y'all partying, you're going home and stuff like that. But you got to be safe. You got to make sure you got the right person driving. I don't condone drinking and driving. Just, these days, they got Ubers and all the other stuff. So, you don't even
imagine being in high school right now where, you used to have to get your car and, and then once you got your car, you can do whatever. But until you got a car, you're a cheese wagon and, and all this kind of stuff. Can you imagine where you could just Uber to school instead of doing the cheese wagon? I mean, it's hard to think of that. It's like, hey, you missed the bus, oh, fuck, now I have to walk like 2 miles to school. Like now you could just Uber to school if you missed the bus. I mean, it's a whole new world we live in.
Yeah, it's a lot more convenience, I guess they would say. Mm-hmm. But it's wild out there. It's wild times out here, and I don't know who you think's going to win the Super Bowl. Did you made your prediction yet on the Super Bowl?
You want to talk a little Super Bowl? Yes, I think I just watched the NFL right now. Total Access is on, but I was watching. They had opening night with Bruce Buffer, and he's introduced them. They're having Patrick Mahomes, and getting interviewed. Not one person, asked him about his dad or anything, but they're asking him about some questions about the Super Bowl, and most of the questions are geared towards Taylor Swift and whatever. But as they were talking about the Chiefs would speak, and then the 49ers would speak, it's clear that there is way more 49er fans than there are Chiefs fans. I think because they've won so much, I think they've become like the Patriots, where you just, a few people love them, but most people don't like to see them winning all the time. They want to see their team win, and I think Las Vegas and San Francisco are really not that far away. It's about from Virginia to Atlantic City. It's like a 3.5 hour, 4-hour drive tops. So you see, San Francisco was in the house in Las Vegas. At least it was tonight.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's going to be a good Super Bowl. I think the
Chiefs are going to win, but San Francisco is definitely, everyone was pulling for the Lions. Like, my team's out, so I guess I'll just pick, this one, or hey, my team's out, so I'll pick that one. I think everyone's pulling for the Lions, and then now, like presidential candidates, I really don't like either one of them, but if I had to pick one, it'd be the 49ers. I'd rather see them win than the Chiefs win again. But honestly, if I'm betting my hard-earned money on it, I think Kansas City Chiefs, no doubt. What's the point spread on the game?
I think it's like 7
for the Chiefs.
No, for the 49ers. The 49ers are the favorite. The 49ers are the better team, man. You got Brock Purdy. I really like the 49ers because they got Trent Williams. He came from the Washington Redskins and all that stuff.
True.
So I love them, and I think I like Kyle Shanahan. So I'm really I think it's going to be a good Super Bowl. But here's the thing about the Chiefs. You can never count the Chiefs out. I think it's at -2 right now. The board's moving. So
yeah, I'm looking at it right now. FanDuel has 2.5. Yeah, plus 2.5 for the Chiefs.
The line's moving. I think it opened up at like 6. So the line's moving. A lot of money's coming in on Kansas City right now. But you can't count out Kansas City. You got the Swifties, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce. So you're gonna have a lot of teenage girls watching the Super Bowl. I mean, it's gonna be a good Super Bowl. I guess you got Usher at halftime. I can't remember who's doing the national anthem and all that. I can't remember who's doing that. Then they have the Black national anthem.
We're gonna do a Super Bowl show, and this ain't this one, but we're gonna do a Super Bowl show. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are gonna win. I bet them even up, regardless of what the point spread is. I definitely got the Chiefs winning it, but I would like to see the 49ers win. But our boy Tucker, do you see the thing this morning where Tucker Carlson was on the way to Russia, and he was getting in it's right here. He was getting in the van, and it was like breaking news that he was traveling on the way to meet President Vladimir Putin to do his interview on Tucker Carlson. And everyone was looking at this stuff. I like these little decorations and stuff. Looks pretty nice.
Yeah, Russia looks dope inside there. You know what I'm saying? It looks like a nice city. You don't see no homeless people anywhere.
That's true.
It looks nice. It looks cold, though. It looks cold and not sunny and snow everywhere.
Yeah, and then the other part of the Tucker Carlson was this one.
На сегодняшний день, на мой взгляд, это самый смелый, самый отважный американский журналист, который смело высказывает свое видение, свою позицию.
Такер Карлсон часто мелькает в новостях, он правду говорит. Поэтому у него, кстати, проблемы в США из-за этого. Он сейчас, насколько я понимаю, сюда приехал. Вот. И не знаю, пустят ли его обратно.
Я очень уважаю за его смелость, я очень уважаю за его нормальное человеческое мнение о том, что происходит на самом деле, за его разумность, за его
So a warm welcome for Tucker Carlson in Russia. I mean, they're saying a bunch of nice things about Tucker and everything, but the Democrats are saying, what the hell are you doing in Russia? We're trying to support a bill to give to Ukraine. And then you've seen the Ukrainian president saying that he can only send 10% of the artillery over to Russia in a battle because the funds that we've given is starting to run out. So now they need more. So Joe can get his 10%, for the big guy of the $10 billion or whatever. And they're trying to make this narrative about how we really need to support Ukraine and Russia's a bad person. But then you get Tucker Carlson over there who might normalize some of these people. And you might even find some common ground with Vladimir Putin in the interview with Tucker Carlson. I mean, Tucker, he's a great person to interviewing, but I think you're going to end up maybe not liking Vladimir Putin, but seeing the human side of him, and you're not going to be wanting to spend, billions and billions of dollars to attack him.
No, Vladimir Putin he's a real G. I know he's done some crazy stuff because he was KGB and all that, but he's like a Christian, bro. He wants Christian values. He wants family and all that. And I know he does some shady stuff with stuff like that, but his overall message is, it's sort of peace and love, and he's tired of the NATO just knocking down on his door. They were blasting the Donbass region. They put in Zelensky. Zelensky was selected to be put in. They were bombing the Russians over there, and he got tired of it. And he sees what NATO is doing, and they see all this stuff they're putting forward. They put all this rainbow stuff everywhere. It's like they took God out of everything. So Putin's a real one. And I think Tucker's going to ask like Vladimir Putin, like, all right, what would it be to stop the war? He's like, all right, make sure Ukraine gets us Crimea, figure out something. We're going to do something with the Donbass region and make sure that Ukraine never joins NATO. His whole goal was to save Russia. And that's all we've been doing as NATO is just pushing closer and closer and closer to Russia. We want a regime change in there, but we won't mess with Iran. So, I mean, we got a bunch of people around Iran, and you see all the stuff like when Tower 22 got hit with that suicide drone, killed American soldiers. We don't bomb Iran. We bomb in Yemen. We bomb Iraq, all these fucking sheds. We blew up some goats, baby. So,
well, not only that, you say if anybody harms an American life, we will respond. But you're talking about like Russia. What about here on the Americans that are being harmed right here in America? Like, you're not responding to that. Why the hell would you respond in Russia? But I think Tucker Carlson is going to do something that Joe Biden can't do. And that's going to be breaking news when Tucker Carlson can come up with something that the American government should have already figured out and open up talks and then find the path to peace. You know, that's something that a politician should be, and they're giving them a hard time about going there because, you know, that old saying, if you ignore your problems, they won't return the favor. And here's Donald Trump talking about the importance of a leader of a country to talk with the other leaders.
Many people have asked me, why do I meet with foreign leaders? Why do I even waste my time? The fact is, it's very important. I've said for a long time, if you're president, you should meet with foreign leaders. You have nothing to lose, and you have a lot to gain. You look at what happened in Singapore, you look at what happened with Chairman Kim, and all that's taken place. We have the remains back of our great heroes that were lost so many years ago. We have nobody shooting out missiles and nuclear testing and other things that were going on that were terrible. We had a tremendous meeting with President Putin. A lot of things were accomplished. Meeting with foreign leaders is a good thing, not a bad thing.
I mean, you heard it right there. It's a good thing, not a bad thing. And it sounds right. But I'll tell you something that doesn't sound right is you see all the politicians, the Democratic politicians, especially in New York, where they are like flipping the script and they're going like on this campaign promises and, hey, all these illegals, you're welcome here. And, you know, everyone's welcome here. They're changing their tune like big time right now.
Oh, the cities are fucked, bro. They're overflowing. They're taking over schools. They're taking over rec centers. They've taken over airports, and they're still flowing in. I know Eagle Pass slowed it down there, but all those immigrants are moving up left. I guess that Tucker did something with Barry Weinstein. It was some type of region he called. I cannot recall it, but if you go watch Tucker, I guess it's an area where they all stage it. And did you know that on TikTok, those motherfuckers who don't let you put up certain stuff on there. I don't like TikTok so much. I'm on there just to try to advertise the Rock and Roll Rebel Show. But on TikTok is where these immigrants are finding out where to come across on the border. I guess if you type in border crossing and stuff like that, I'm going to do a deep dive into it and see if I can't find some of it maybe tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But I guess they're getting all their information from TikTok on how to come across and just claim asylum and all that and leave all your stuff at the border. So, I mean, Eagle Pass is shut down. I mean, Greg Abbott did a great job, but they just moved south. They're all coming in from California now.
It's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable, all the stuff that you see that's going on the border. But, you know, what's happening here in America, I think, is the most interesting that I've seen. Do you see that documentary where the guy, he was basically interviewing people talking about what's going on in New York and what people's opinion are of migrants? Check out the beginning of this one.
This is New York City.
This isn't South America. This isn't Guatemala. We're better than everyone in the world for a reason.
Illegal immigrants.
Close the border! Close the border!
They shouldn't even be here. They should be back where they belong.
They keep coming. I don't know what to do.
Crime.
Gray sweatshirts with a black puffer vest.
Fighting each other. Yo, yo! Homelessness.
Yo!
They still smoking that cig. That's impressive, I gotta say. And Jews hiding in tunnels?
There's inside a bunch of criminals. Narcotics must be punished.
So this right here is a 40-minute long video, and if you want to see the whole video entirety, you can go to the Twitter page for Kingdom Radio, and you can see that, or you can go to YouTube. It is 40 minutes long, but it's pretty good information. The guy's like going around to people in New York, and he's interviewing them. Hey, what do you think about the migrants? And it's pretty interesting what people had to say. And it really was saying that they didn't appreciate it, and they were waiting for it to stop, and they want to close the border. So New York, and now you're seeing the governors and everything changing their tune. Did you see some of the governors, the governor having his response today, completely contradicting himself?
Yeah, they're running out of space. That's the problem. They're running out of space in these cities, and they keep coming and coming and coming. So, I mean, I don't know how many came across today. I mean, you don't see the numbers on it. They're trying to hide the numbers. So probably another 5, 6.
I think you don't even, it's impossible to know the numbers. You just know the numbers that got away are the ones that you got. You don't know the real numbers.
Exactly.
I mean, but it's definitely a hot topic there. And Governor Greg Abbott, we definitely stand with Governor Greg Abbott on this show.
You can't stand with him, bro. He's in a wheelchair.
I guess it was like an oxymoron, but thanks for pointing that out, bro.
I want to let the people know. Some people don't know. Some people do not know that Greg Abbott is in a wheelchair.
Yeah, well, and if you don't know, now you know. But did you know that in Ireland, we are also protesting immigrants? I don't have the full story on this one, but definitely protesting immigration. They are like against immigration right now in Ireland, and it's also in France. The world is protesting, and everything like that. And
yeah,
I don't know what the answer is, but man, it's getting pretty interesting.
I don't know why we bombed the Middle East for 20 plus years, had the forever wars over there, killed all their leaders, Gaddafi. What's the one guy in Iraq?
Saddam
Hussein. Yeah. We killed them all, killed all their leaders, changed the regimes, killed the guy in Yemen. And now we're just letting them all in. So, I mean, good luck, America. Good luck. I'm no more than 3 feet away from a gun. I got beans, bullets. I got emergency food. I got gallons of water.
Are you ready?
Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. I've been ready, baby. I've been ready. I seen it coming. So I don't know if they're going to let this election pop off or not. It's going to be
here's the Joe Biden campaign that was celebrating the win in South Carolina, the Rock and Roll Rebel Show state, the South Carolina. Here's Joe. Look,
can you zoom in on those people?
Look, you gotta check out the brother, man.
They all look stupid. Zoom in on them. Zoom in on them.
Check out the brother in the middle, man. He's got some flavor. It's not a picture. Oh, let me get some dancing going.
Those people are retarded, bro.
I mean, it's Joe Biden, and
how can you stand for Joe Biden? You cannot stand for Joe Biden, man. He can't walk. He won't even do the Super Bowl because the presidents always do the Super Bowl. They do like an interview before the Super Bowl.
He declined to.
He declined this year. He declined last year. Trump said, "Hey, I'll take it," but they're not going to put Trump on. So basically, you're going to have Joe Biden not running, not being anywhere, back to the basement, and Trump gets censored on the media. So we're going to have an election where you don't even get to see who the fuck's running.
Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. Here's Joe Biden. The fake news MSNBC today. They have this thing on Twitter, but it's showing the approval rating of Joe Biden. It's the worst in presidential history, but instead of making it the worst, they raised the numbers up to say it's tied with the other worst, which was Bush when he was George Bush when he was coming out of office at the end, and his approval rating was so low.
Before 9/11.
Our poll clocks in at 37%. That is his low in our poll. That's the lowest a president has checked in an NBC poll since the final days of the George W. Bush administration in 2008. The disapproval rating also an all-time high in our poll for Biden at 60%.
So I was thinking I was thinking that they were talking about the polling the audience to see which one of the audience members thought that MSNBC was telling the truth, on the news. And I thought maybe 37% were saying that, they agree that they're telling the truth. And then I seen it was about Joe Biden. And I'm like, every poll that MSNBC has done, none of those polls have been accurate when they say who's winning or who has the lead, or, especially when they're talking about politics or Donald Trump, when they're leaning, they're leaning towards Democrats so much. So that tells me, by looking at these numbers, 37%, that tells me that it's lower. It must be about 20%. Must be the real numbers. If fake news MSNBC is saying it's 37%.
While the polls were off, the media in 2016, you saw what they did to Trump. I mean, they were saying Hillary had a 92% rate and all that. So it's all been lies. The polls are all lies. The media knows they're done. They're cooked. Nobody's watching the media no more. And they're panicked now because you got Alvin Bragg. His case is getting dropped. You had the January 6th stuff's getting dropped with Fani Willis in Georgia. That's going to get dropped. They thought they were going to be able to arrest Trump. But all you see when the people start looking into him, they're all corrupt. It's all falling apart. They wanted to arrest Trump. They're not going to be able to arrest Trump now. And Trump is just he's going to steamroll it this year. The only way they're going to get it is if they're going to have to do ballot drops. How long is this election you think going to last? Because the last one was like 6 days. The election was on Tuesday and they called it on a Saturday. This one's going to go on forever, right? They're never going to call this one.
Oh, they're going to call this one, but the election interference, the fraud, the drama that's going to be surrounding it is going to be nonsense. This is going to be the craziest election, and those October surprises and things like that, we have no idea what it's going to be, but it's going to be huge. But trying to get him trumped up charges with felonies and stuff like that to prevent him from being on the ticket, that ain't going to happen. Even though I seen Colorado said there was 15 Republicans that can't make it on any tickets in Colorado, but it's like just straight ridiculous, man. Just ridiculousness. I mean, and you're part of America. It's just unbelievable. But speaking of part of America, did you see our South Dakota governor? This would be Miss Kristi Noem. Yeah. So she obviously is not allowed on the Indian reservation. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Based on her view of the border and her going down there to support the border, they have, let me see here. It's the Pine Ridge Reservation. We're saying that since she's wanting the razor wire to secure personnel in Texas to help deter immigration in the U.S. border and also cartels of infiltrating the state reservations due to the safety of the Oyate, effective immediately, you are hereby banished from the homelands of Agala Sioux tribe. The tribe president, Frank Starr, comes out and said on Friday's statement addressed to Noam, Oyate is a word for people or nation. So they're basically saying that she's not allowed in their borders in South Dakota. But I mean, if you think about it, that's a very interesting analogy. I was thinking about this over the weekend. Indians, of all people, Pilgrims, the people that came over, and the Indians were here, and they were like in Virginia, and they were on the East Coast, and then say, hey, I'm going to bring more of my friends, hey, I'm going to bring some more of my friends, and hey, let me Billy and John and Adam and meet them. And then it's just more people and more people, and then they start to like be friendly with them. They're being friends of them and welcoming, and then they end up getting pushed back. And then there's more guys starting to have certain ideas. Now there's more of us than there is you, which is very similar to the border that we're talking about today. And then all of a sudden they get some guns and then they push back again to the point the Indians are in a reservation now. That's how far they pushed them back to they have to get reparations and put the Indians in their own land because they pushed them back to certain places. This is one of the biggest one here in South Dakota. But they're pushing back, and that's very similar to what could be going in the next 20, 30, 40 years in the border. Is, just so many people are coming over there, and then they're just pushing everyone back away from the border because it's getting so populated you can't even live there.
Yeah, it's going to come quick. It's all going to come to an end here shortly. I mean, it's just too many of them coming across. There's nowhere to put them. Nowhere to put them.
No doubt, man. No doubt. And then Schumer says that the migrants, they are not the problem. In fact, they're actually the solution.
Now more than ever, we're short of workers. We have a population that is not reproducing it on its own. with the same level that it used to. The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here.
Get them on a path to be a voter.
Yeah, that's all they want. The Democrats just want power, and they want to keep their power forever. And the Republicans are in on it. It's all big uniparty. It's the Club of 300. If you take a deep dive down to the Club of 300, they run everything.
It's amazing, dude. It's amazing to see it. And here's the new governor of New York.
I can't be clearer. This is a national problem. Chicago,
Send me money.
Boston, Houston, Washington. The national government must solve this, and the challenges that we are facing. No city should be facing these challenges. And I kept saying this over and over again. We're going.
He wasn't saying it.
Fuck no. He was proud to have a sanctuary city.
Of the failure of the policy. I said this over and over again. I said it last year. I said it.
When he's saying he said it, that means he didn't say it.
Seeing the visual of what a failed national policy is producing, and when I speak to my colleagues in other cities, they're saying the same thing. It's not unique to New York. We have to fix this with a national solution.
He's basically saying, don't blame me for this, even though I was saying we're welcoming. Don't blame me because I've been saying this since last year, which was like 2 months ago. Last year was 2 months ago that we need the border closed now. I mean, I was saying sanctuary city, but 2 months ago I changed my tune and now I'm saying no. And it's really not even my fault because other cities are having the same problem and it's really a national policy. Don't blame me. That's pretty much what I gathered from that.
Yeah, they're morons. They're all morons. We're led by morons.
What else is going on, bro?
That's it, my man. That's it. That's all.
The Rock and Roll Rebel Show.
Yeah, the Rock and Roll Rebel Show. We live every night, Monday through Friday. Occasionally we jump in on the weekends. We just talking everything. We trying to save the country, baby. We're trying to save the country. And I mean, we got kids, you know what I'm saying? And it's just going to be a shithole, bro. You can't have these lizard people running stuff, bro. You can't have people running it. Make sure you like and sub up to the Rock and Roll Rebel Show. We're real news, not that fake news.
Definitely Rock and Roll Rebel.
Baby. We want to keep it gangster. We crip walking and everything.
Follow Rock and Roll Rebel on Twitter. Absolutely. For those of you listening, I do appreciate each and every one of y'all for listening. Definitely check us out on Twitter, tweeting. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. But more importantly, check us out on X, where you can speak your mind, freedom of the speech, and you can listen to the Rock and Roll Rebel Show or Kingdom Radio right there. And that's all I got for right now. But keep it classy, my friend, and just keep it cool. Either way, hang out there. There's going to be good news coming on every night around 9 o'clock, right around there. We're doing live shows every night. So definitely just check us out, and we appreciate you. Peace is what I got to say.